What up? I'm B, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things YouTube drama and current events, but we do it in a way that is fair and reasonable and as unbiased as we can be when we can. This video is going to be not one of those times where we are unbiased, because today this is another Crafty Crimes segment, talk about something in the true crime world and try to make something. So first of all, we're gonna make boot cuffs. I've never made them before, but they're very cute and I want some, so we're gonna try to crochet that. Like I said, never done it before, but I don't know, shouldn't be too hard. Let's see how it works. And we're gonna be talking about something, like I said, in the true crime world, but it's not like crimey, but this person that we're talking about is very suspect, so yeah. And they have created their own religion, which seems very culty, so that falls into the true crime world, and we're going to talk about it. We are talking about Onision today and his religion that he created called Sicesca. Now, if you don't know who Onision is, he is a Washington-based YouTuber. He is 33 years old and he has 1.63 million subscribers. He is also known for being kind of a bully, if we are putting it gently, which I am. He has made plenty of videos on other YouTubers mocking struggles that they're going through, problems that they're having. What he does is he'll do it in like a, I'm helping you, you're welcome, but then he proceeds to make fun of them and just generally bully them. So obviously that's not his intention. And he is also known for being abusive towards his romantic partners. He has kind of, not even kind of, it's proven, he's like groomed underage fans to eventually like move out to Washington or come visit him and fall in love with him. He has manipulated people. He is just very generally aggressive. He's a bully, and a lot of people are speaking out about him right now. And there is a video that I watched that I'll link below. It's by Mr. Repzion. I really like him a lot, and it's a full hour. He goes into a ton of the things that Onision has done, the ways that he's manipulated young girls and his ex-wife and all of that. And that is actually where I learned about Sicesca. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is a religion that he created it, and it's debatable if he still follows it, still believes in it, or what, but he is kind of confusing whether he's agnostic or atheist. It seems like he's kind of come out saying that he's atheist and more supported that, but he created this religion, and this is a post from his Facebook group in 2013, February 23rd. He said, "The reason Sicesca was started is because God spoke to me directly and told me to start the religion. Sicescans just get it. We just know things and do things in a more efficient way than others. All other religions, thousands of them I know, are an insult to the true God, that which is only represented accurately in Sicesca. If you wish to worship perfection, well, you could worship me. But that's not what I mean. Then worship God, the God of Sicesca." So yeah, that's a lot, and normally I would not make fun of someone for their religious beliefs, but it's kind of notorious that people in this day and age who start their own religion, who come up with the concepts of their own religion, and don't necessarily like say, you know, I have my own belief system, I believe in kind of like an established religion, but here's how I follow it. Like, that's not always as problematic as it is when someone creates an entire religion, such as Scientology was created, you know, within the past few hundred years. I'm listening to last podcast on the left, and they're going into like the origins of Mormonism, and like that's super interesting and started out pretty problematic. You know, if you meet a Mormon today, chances are they're one of like the nicest people you'll meet, but the way that it was started, there's an issue. You know, you have the Order of the Solar Temple, you have oh my gosh, what's the one from Japan with Asakahara? Oh my god, Shinrikyo. You know, like people who create their own religions tend to have very damaging thoughts and like damaging beliefs. They hurt the people around them in a lot of cases. So that's why I want to talk about it. So this website, the Sicesca website, is not up anymore, but you can see it if you go on the Wayback machine. So I'll include a link for that, and then like the Wikipedia page about it, so that way you can see it. But basically, I read this for over an hour, and I don't know how to explain the religion. It's uncomfortable being like, I don't understand something, but at the same time, the way that it was written, I don't think it's me. I think it's the way that it was written that is confusing and why we're having a hard time with it. So I'm just gonna measure my little calf here, don't mind me. But so basically there's no like guiding principles, there's no core tenets from what I can tell. It's not like, hey, here's a general guide to living your life. It's just basically focused on, you know, people who follow Sicesca know the real truth. We're logic driven, we are top of the line in our health, we are always on top of it, we care about the earth. Like that was a big thing, was caring about the earth, living in a perfect earth, being self-sufficient, knowing how to take care of the world. That was like a big thing. And this is an excerpt from the section, The Meaning of Life. The main reason for our existence is a beautiful truth. We are all created to nurture our planet and each other, ultimately in mission of optimizing our Earth and inhabitants for the best results on course to an extended survival. And I think that that's a really, a really interesting part, because Onision famously destroyed the wetlands behind his house because he didn't like them, and he had to like pay a big fine and pay to basically restore them. You know, you can't just destroy the wetlands because you don't like them. So there's tons of videos about that out, but that's what struck me as like the first thing that I read, that I was like, I don't know. And I get this is like an older website, and the wetlands thing happened within the past year, so I'm sure it's possible to change. But like I said, this is not about Onision as a person, this is about the religion. So like I said, can't really tell what the core tenets are, but there are a few words that are bolded throughout the website, and it seems to me like Onision just heard words related with like mystic beliefs and religious beliefs and changed a few letters and was like, no, it's a new thing now. So the first like big element within Sicesca is Devant, I don't know how to say it, but I'm like, divine? Like, I don't know. But basically it's the unseen world or the fourth dimension. And in typical, this might have been too much. Shoot. Typical religions and stuff, like not religions, but like mystical beliefs, the fourth dimension or like the unseen world or the astral plane is typically like a good place. It's a place of knowledge. It's a place that you would want to go to. That should be good. That fits around. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is I just made a chain that goes around like the top part of my calf where a boot would typically go, and then you have 2 extra loops, and we're going to do a half double crochet in each one around, and then this isn't going to be done by the time this video is done, but I'll put in a picture at the end. Anyway, so like the astral plane, it's typically a good place. Like it's a place where, you know, you can achieve things that can't be achieved on Earth. It's full of possibilities. It's like only the most enlightened people have access to the astral plane. But with Onision, what he says is that like the Devant, this plane, is a place where Earth has banished people who, not people, but like negative projects, or he said negative projects, and corrupt human beings can come from Devant to Earth. And if you have the right knowledge on Earth, you can go there and you can explore it. But I don't understand what the purpose was, because it's not like, oh, you can go there and you can banish corruption, or it's a great place, you would want to go there. It's just like, this is a bad place that like negative energy comes from, and if you come from the Devant, you're coming to like hurt people and cause chaos and cause destruction. So that was interesting. I mean, it's weird because I think, you know, anytime anybody has kind of an odd idea, I'm like, ooh, you know, like if somebody makes up a world, tell me all about it. But he doesn't really say anything about it. It's very confusing. It's convoluted. He doesn't have a clear story. Like, if this was the basis of like a science fiction book, I'd be super interested, but it falls flat. My review of the religion. It's a flop. So there's Devant, there's beings called Zodin, and these are supposedly like the, not human form, but like the living creature form of the negative projects that live in Devant, and they can come into the world. They present themselves as corrupt human beings, and like they're supposedly the explanation for haunted houses, like demonic encounters. If you use a Ouija board, like they're the person, or they're the entity that you're talking to. So they're evil, they're not good, but like I said, like he takes words that are just associated with other religions and changes the letter, like Zodin, Odin. You know what I mean? Anyway, they attract other Zodins. They're there for destruction, and this is what I mean when I'm saying like he's not clear on what the different elements are in the religion, because at one point he says that Zodins are unseen, that like you can't see them, and that's why you can't destroy them, and that's why they're so powerful and they have like so much power over our lives. But then he also says that they are quote, another shade of color, which first of all just doesn't make sense, but second of all, Onision doesn't like black people, so that's why I wanted to include it, not only because it was like confusing and contradictory to what he said literally a sentence before when he said that they were invisible, but he is famously known, and again, this is in Mr. Repzion's video, so you can go see, like, he has these forums, and he's talking about how he doesn't like black people, like, he doesn't find them attractive. Onision did a whole video trying to tell black women how to care for their hair. He's like, oh, your hair is so dry and frizzy, I can't run my fingers through it. If you notice my hair, I can run my fingers right through it. It's beautiful. I use the perfect amount of product. Let me tell you how to care for your hair, which is a completely different texture than mine and requires completely different care. So, yeah, I thought it was important to include that because that is another sign of racism. And one of the last key elements of Sicesca is Savants, which is Savontes, but I'm just like, savant, like S-A-V-A-N-T. It's basically, you say it the same way, it's the same thing, but these are post-human souls which have experienced the honor of being awarded a human body to dwell in. So, a person. But he also talks about at one point how, like, how you live on Earth determines whether or not you get another body when you die, like whether you get another chance to live. So I guess, maybe if you're living right now, this is your soul's first incarnation, and you might not get to be a person again. So, watch out, seek the truth. I don't know. He also talks about how, our society has a habit of, like, downgrading women and being abusive to them and not treating them as equals, which is just fascinating to me because, he made this website when he was an adult. He's 33 now. The post about Sicesca was in 2013, so he said he's been living by this code at one point. He was like, I've been living this code since 1997, so it should be something that is stored in his heart and just part of his nature. But as I said, he is famous for manipulating women, for grooming women, for being abusive to them, for trying to shame them, for trying to give them punishments when they do things that he does not like. He constantly creates videos about his exes, shows them in vulnerable states, tries to make them humiliate themselves. The list goes on. Like, there are so many videos about the horrible things that Onision has done, that it's just an undeniable fact. It's not like an opinion at this point. There's so much proof that that's the type of person he is. So interesting that he would include that, like, our society hurts women when he hurts women. Anyway, and then one of the last things, because like I said, this website is chocked full of stuff, but it is just confusing. And at one point, I was just reading it and rereading it and rereading it, and I was like, I think my brain is melting. Like, I can hear it falling out of my ears. So I stopped reading. But if you want to go check it out, feel free. It's just a lot of nonsense, in my opinion. But anyway, there is a tenet of physical health, because he talks about how, like, you're at the top of your game, you got to have great health, you got to go to the doctor, go to doctor, dentist, psychiatrist. The actual quote from the website is, to make sure your life is a healthy one, you should take part in regular dentist, doctor, and psychiatrist visitations, however often as advertised. Those who keep themselves in the right mind and body will find a greater sense of worth, confidence, and overall use for the advancement of society. And I think that that's interesting, because Onision is clearly not trying to diagnose him, but I feel like, I don't want to say anything and, like, come across like I'm trying to diagnose somebody, but something's up. Like, if you can watch his videos and see what he's done and not think that, like, oh my gosh, this is stuck. There we go. And not think that, like, something's wrong. I don't know what to say. Like, it's possible that he is very aware that he is doing these bad things, and he knows he's a horrible person, and he just doesn't care, in which case he, those are signs of a sociopath, which a lot of people do seek therapy for if they are sociopaths. But to me, the level of, like, how hypocritical he is, the level of hypocrisy that he portrays, like, unabashedly, shamelessly, the fact that he never says that he does anything wrong, he can never admit it, he can never apologize, it just makes me wonder. I'm like, are you okay? And if you're not, there's nothing wrong with having a mental illness, because, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to, like, diagnose anybody, like I said, so please don't, like, rewired soul me, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But what I am saying is, when you see somebody who is so, like, blind and ignorant to the reality that they are living in, who cannot accept responsibility for things they did wrong, who destroys wetlands and then gets mad at people for trying to hold him accountable, who doesn't see anything wrong with trying to humiliate people and manipulate people, who says, you know, at one point he was trying to be in contact with his ex-wife's little sister and like trying to talk to her and hang out with her and stuff, and he's like, you're breaking me, I'm broken, congratulations. He equates alimony to slavery. Just so disconnected from the reality that other people see. It makes you, it's concerning, is what I will say about it. And so if you see a person like that and you're just like, dude, are you alright? And I don't even know how I started this sentence, but at the end of the day, what I was trying to say is, it seems like he may benefit from therapy. And I think that that's an okay statement to make, because I think anybody could benefit from therapy. Like, who doesn't want to go talk about themselves for an hour and work through issues they may be having that might be keeping them sad or unhealthy? You know, so like, I think everybody should go to therapy. Not just if you have a mental illness. But at the end of the day, if you have a mental illness, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to take care of it. So I just find it ironic that he is so disconnected from the reality and the pain that he causes, and he doesn't care, and he's hurt so many people, and yet he says, like, you need to go to a psychiatrist as often as necessary. You need to be at the top of your physical game. Like, if you don't love yourself, you're no good to anybody. And yet he tells his ex-wife's little sister, like, you're breaking me, I'm broken, are you happy? This is what you've done to me. It's just, it's ironic. So, alright guys, we made our chain, and I know that this isn't like an actual crafting tutorial, but in case you want to make these, like I said, I'll put a link at the bottom, or not a link at the bottom. I need to not have a White Claw before I do this. That's it. It's been a long day. I'll put a picture at the end, but basically that's it for the Onision thing. It's just wild. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Other than a lot of YouTubers right now are trying to get him off the platform, make as many people aware of him as they can. A lot of people who have actually like known him and met him and seen the kind of damage that he causes, they're taking part in this as well, making videos about him, trying to just be like, hey, this is important. So yeah, go watch the videos, share them with as many people as you can. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about it this week, is just being another person saying that what Onision does is wrong. He shouldn't be on this platform. He shouldn't be allowed to continue to treat women the way that he has. He's just a damaging person. So, and I don't say that with any hate. I just say it with, hey, these things are not okay. And if you have no intention of changing the way that you act or learning from these mistakes and trying to be better, then it's probably best if your influence is limited. So that's all of that. But back to this. Okay, so what you do if you want to make this is, when you get to the end, do 2 loops, and then you skip over, and we're gonna go, we don't want it textured, so we're just gonna go through the full stitch, do a half double crochet, and then do it again, and you just go back and forth until it's a thickness that you want. And then actually, when I get to the end, I'll come up and I'll show you how I'm planning to stitch it together, and then that'll be that. Okay, so we're back, and we're a little bit sad because I realized that this is too big to fit around my thigh, or around my calf. So I didn't finish making it, but in case you do make this and you measure correctly, because I got a little bit distracted because we were talking about serious stuff, so I made it a little bit too big. But basically what you'll do when you want to connect it, if you actually decide to make this as a boot cuff, is you'll just put the two ends together, and then you'll do a single stitch to connect them. If you follow this, you probably already know how to crochet, because like, why would you try it? It's not a real tutorial. But anyway, for those of you interested, you would just put it through like the outside. I don't know if you can tell, but just put your hook through and then go around once, pull it through, and then pull it through again. And you just go all the way down until you complete the seam, and then you put your tails through. So I know this is not a real tutorial, but it didn't feel complete without coming back to add that last little finishing touch. Okay, that's it. But as far as the Onision files go, that's it. That's his religion. If you're a religious person or you're looking to expand your belief system, I would pick something else. Yeah. That's it. I'll see you later, my fellow Zodins, because Onision doesn't like any of us, so we're all the corrupt human beings, apparently. But that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for crafting with me. I'd love it if you would like or subscribe, and if you've subscribed already, thank you so much. I love being able to hang out with you and just chill, talk about interesting things, and that's it for this one. I'll see you next time. Again, thanks so much for watching, and go out there and be the voice of reason in a world full of crazy. Bye.